So, today I'm going to talk about the difference between two ways of viewing reality, viewing life, and the world in general, okay? So, first, I'm going to draw a couple shapes here. And I'm just going to explain what these are. Okay, so here's a pyramid. And this is one way of viewing the world. It's a pyramid scheme, right? So you've got, say, on the bottom here, in the animal kingdom, you have the bacteria, right? This is the food chain. Say that the food chain is a pyramid. Now I know this is a very common way of viewing it. People often say that humans are quote-unquote at the top of the food chain, right? So that would place us all the way up here, right? Well, the way this would work is if a human needed something to eat, he would go down like that. Eat some food, right? Now, whatever creature is living here needs food. You can't technically go up there because the human is above him. The human has more access to power than he does. He's more powerful or whatever. He's stronger. He's better at surviving. Right? So, based on genetics, this animal cannot go up to get food, so it has to go down as well. Now the human eats this eats this, right? So basically, the bottom of the food chain in the pyramid scheme is serving to feed this, which is serving to feed this part, which is serving to feed each higher level of the pyramid. And in this pyramid scheme view of the world, you have the top of the pyramid, which can grab food or whatever it wants from any of the parts, right? From any of the levels of the pyramid. Now, this is a really limiting way of seeing things, and I'm going to explain why. If you... That's not the shape that I want. Say, instead of viewing the world as a pyramid, you instead view the world as a cycle. A circle. Everything goes in a circle. Right? I'm just going to put these arrows here to show that it's going in a circle. Now, this is one way of looking at the world, which is actually rather old, but it's rather uncommon. When people want to get food in this view, say you are right here on the circle. All you have to do is move forward to get food. That's all you have to do. You don't have to go down, right? So then, in the same way, another animal could be right behind you, ready to eat you. Now this cyclical view of reality is leaves you open to possibility because of this. The opportunity for consuming food is no longer based on who is the highest up in level, but based on the opportunity that is presented. So say for instance the food opportunity here, the reason that this animal is put behind you on this diagram just so happens to be because maybe you're sick or you broke your legs and you've fallen, right? So usually humans would be like, say a wolf is right here and humans are up here. The human can usually kill the wolf. But in reality, this is the wolf. The human fell out of a tree and broke his leg. See? The pyramid scheme is very unrealistic for this reason, because it completely leaves out of perspective chance and the natural cycle of things. Because in this way, a human may be eaten by this wolf right here, but what the human was about to eat or kill could have been a bear until he fell out of the tree, right? Well, then suddenly the bear comes back around and kills the wolf. Maybe because he got into his territory. Okay? So you can also apply this view with money or religion. Okay? In religion, you place God at the top of the pyramid, like so. Put an eye up at the top of the pyramid. God can see all, right? This is God. He's an eye. He's looking down on everything. He's above all, right? This is the pyramid scheme of the universe. But in the cyclical scheme, where would you put him? Where would you put God? Because it seems like no matter where on this line you put God, he's going to get eaten somehow. And that doesn't make sense because he's God. Well, if you wanted to be more realistic, here's how you would make God. So, the whole cycle is the eye. Rather than the eye being merely at the top of the pyramid, the cycle is made up of the eye. So this is based on the view that God is merely the energy of the entire universe. It's just the cycle of life. That's what God is. That's the force of nature, is this ever-moving cycle, right? I personally prefer this view because scientifically it makes more sense. And in chance, this view here implies that there is some sort of tier system, right? And people are always on their tiers. Okay, well, one might say, okay, so since the human broke his leg, right, would that not move him down here? Well, no, because technically humans are at the top of the food chain. That's just the way it's seen. When you say you're at the top, you don't go down to the bottom just because you broke your leg. You're still a human. You're just a human with a broken leg. Shouldn't you be able to defend yourself? It's still the same circumstance. So, you would categorize different animals into these areas based on how they can survive, right? Their ability to survive, or what they contribute, or what the animal eats, right? Well, does the human suddenly stop eating, say, whatever animal was right in this tier just because he broke his leg? Well, no. Because maybe he has other human friends that come about and kill the animals right here for him, even though he has a broken leg. So, the human is still up here. But then again, he has a broken leg, so he can't fight the wolf. So this scheme here is highly flawed. To simply change the graph only because of one piece of data makes absolute zero sense, because the whole point of the graph was to set in stone a sort of marker for what is. The truth about reality is that there is no tier ranking system. There is no hierarchy. It's a cycle of opportunity, like this. Something may happen and you end up in front of this wolf with a broken leg and he eats you. Or you could eat this bear and take his hide and survive in the cold and then come back around and kill the wolf. Because all this time that you were surviving. Because you didn't break your leg. So this cyclical view of reality is more open to opportunity than this. Because if you place yourself on top and you place certain animals below you, you leave out of their range of opportunity the ability to win against the higher ranks. You just create this assumption that they cannot kill the higher levels of being. Even if you don't have a broken leg, a wolf has a chance against a human. It could just be entirely the human's ability to maintain his stature. He could be fighting against more than one wolf, perhaps. He could be fighting against 2 wolves. And yet he's still at the top of the food chain according to quote-unquote science. And yet, shouldn't he be able to fight 2 wolves? He's at the top of the food chain. Well, no. You put 2 wolves behind the human here, and they have the opportunity to ambush this human. And that's just based on how reality actually works. If you do the same thing with money, you would see that the system that we live in right now, we have Rockefeller, Rothschild, we have the presidents, politicians. They are all up here, commanding money down into the lower areas, to the ghettos, to the urban, to the suburbs, to whatever. And this view of life leaves no opportunity for people to step out of their boundaries and move upwards. So instead, I would urge anybody who is watching this video to really think about this. If you exist in a life that is cyclical rather than pyramid scheme, right? And I would like you to actually find a pyramid scheme basis of behavior in nature outside of human behavior, because that's created by human intellect. It doesn't count as natural occurrence of events. It counts as observation and categorization of events. Okay? I would urge you to think, if I'm actually on this cycle here, doesn't that mean that the president is just over here? He just takes the opportunity and moves it forward? And shouldn't that mean that what he does will come around to me, and therefore what I do will come around to him? What we all do will come around to him. Okay? In the same way, imagine if God wasn't overseeing you, but God was what you were experiencing, what you were living. Okay? Thank you for watching.